Hey Greysteel Nation, Sully here with the Barbell Prescription, keeping you strong and healthy in the second half of life. Thanks for watching and subscribing. The Barbell Prescription for Healthy Aging has a deep rationale, as expounded in the book of the same name written by myself and Andy Baker. These rationale are grounded in the physiology of aging, the components of the sick aging phenotype, the power of exercise medicine to combat the degenerative diseases of aging, the bioenergetic and biophysical signatures of the candidate exercises, and the basic criteria for any sensible prescription of any type. But the prescription itself is sheer simplicity. 4 compound barbell movements and a conditioning component. The conditioning component, as we explain in Chapter 26 of the Barbell Prescription, is the most variable and can be anything from a dedicated program of high-intensity interval training to any of an almost limitless variety of physical or athletic pursuits. Lift weights and play your sports, as the old saw goes. However, there is a bit of a wrinkle in exercise selection, and that is the role of the Olympic lifts and their variants. Now, anybody who can do the squat, press, bench, and dead should do them, as discussed at length in the book and more concisely in these videos. In addition to these 4 so-called slow lifts, however, there are 2 other barbell movements that are commonly incorporated into strength and conditioning programs: the power clean and the power snatch. These are variations on the contested lifts in Olympic weightlifting, the clean and jerk and the snatch. Now, the Olympic variants are fundamentally different from the slow lifts in that they are intrinsically explosive. The power clean and the power snatch both involve a pull from the floor like a deadlift, followed by a powerful, explosive jump and rapid extension that launches the bar into the racking position, on the shoulders for the clean and above the head for the snatch. In general, a program will usually include one or the other. The power clean allows more weight to be used, but anthropometry, in particular the length of the forearm relative to the humerus, will sometimes make the clean impossible, indicating the snatch instead. Some athletes love the O-lift variants and will want to use both in their program. We outline how intermediate programs can incorporate one or both lifts in the barbell prescription. The rationale for including an Olympic variant in a strength and conditioning program are, in a word, contentious and beyond the scope of this video. In essence, they have to do with the ability to display the strength gained through the slow lifts in an explosive movement pattern. Explosiveness, or power, the product of force and velocity, is a fundamental physical and athletic attribute, and therefore valuable. But our ability to train explosiveness is controversial, and some people discount the importance of including these movements in a strength program for any athlete other than an Olympic weightlifter. When it comes to masters, athletes over 50, I think the Olympic lifts can have value, even if we do discount their ability to meaningfully improve explosion, which I'm not quite prepared to do myself. I think these movements, which are dynamic, exciting, and beautiful, can do a lot to improve the confidence of the master, their enjoyment of the training, and their sense of accomplishment. If you're doing cleans or snatches in your 60s, well, you are a very special person, basically by definition. But the problem with doing these dynamic, difficult, and explosive movements is that, well, they're dynamic, difficult, and explosive. They are intrinsically athletic, demanding, and stressful in ways the other movements are not. Every action causes an equal and opposite reaction after all, and if you apply explosive force against the barbell, it will apply an explosive resistance right back at you. Thank you, Isaac Newton. So, power cleans and snatches involve high impulsive forces on aging tendons, muscles, ligaments, and cartilage in the context of very rapid movement patterns that are difficult to correct in mid-execution, making tweaks and minor injuries more likely than in the slow lifts. Now, I'd have to tell you folks in your 60s that a minor tweak can really wreak havoc with training. So, the question becomes, should you do the Olympic lifts if you're over 50 or 60? I must make it clear that you do not have to do these exercises. They are not part of the barbell prescription. They are extra credit. Please understand this. Cleans and snatches can be fun and satisfying and excellent displays of hard-won strength. but they aren't essential for training for health and fitness. So on that basis, the answer to our question is no. But what if you want to do them? If so, you have fulfilled the first of my 3 criteria for prescribing O-lifts in the athlete of aging. That first criterion is desire. You have to really want to do them. This is not a criterion for the squat or deadlift or bench. If you come to me for training, you are going to do these exercises if you're physically capable. I don't care if you want to or not. But you're not going to learn to clean or snatch unless you really do want to. The second criterion is aptitude. You must have some basic level of aptitude for the exercises. Cleans and snatches require a minimum ability to jump and quickly coordinate movements. They require that proficiency in the deadlift already be in place. A certain je ne sais quoi has to be there, a certain grace and innate athleticism that, to put it bluntly, not everybody possesses. Nobody has to do the clean or snatch exactly right or even very well at the very beginning. But within a short period of time, it becomes clear whether or not one has an aptitude for the Olympic lifts or not. In the case of masters, this clarity is realized sooner and mandates immediate cessation of attempts to go forward. Because, again, the potential for injury or overuse is even greater if one sucks at them. In masters, such a risk is just not acceptable. The third criterion is tolerance. You must physically tolerate the exercises and recover well from training them. It may well be that you really want to do the clean or snatch. And it may well turn out that you're actually pretty good at the clean or the snatch. But it may also turn out that these exercises, although you love them and you're good at them, just beat the living hell out of you. I'm not talking about the usual muscle soreness. I'm talking about pain and loss of function in the day or 3 following a heavy clean workout. Again, they put a lot of highly impulsive stress on joints and soft tissues. And if that's you, if you enjoy cleans and do them well, but they just beat the crap out of you and thereby prevent good recovery and progress in the other lifts, then you shouldn't do them. Sorry, the 4 basic exercises are the ones that make you really strong and build the most muscle. And O-lift variants must not interfere with that, even if you want to do them. To paraphrase a great 20th century philosopher, you can't always get what you want. But if you squat and press and dead, you'll get what you need. Now, there are people out there who don't think cleans and snatches are a productive use of training time, that they're worthless, that they're contraindicated for masters, and so on. I am not one of those people. I'm over 60 years old, and I do these exercises myself. I love coaching them in masters, and I have, although at the moment, I don't have anybody over 50 who meets my 3 criteria. I do not think these exercises are worthless, but I do think they are dispensable in masters. The 3 criteria elucidated here have never let me down. Applied dispassionately, they'll work for you too. Stay tuned. We've got more great content on exercise and lifestyle medicine for healthy aging coming right at you.